values to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach future generations the value of freedom. Check them out at www.breezeacrossamerica.org/radio. Patriot Pride.
I don't care what anyone has to say.
It's Sunday, May 31st, and you've tuned into the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6. Right now, you're listening to WeP3 Radio, proudly produced in partnership with Reach Across America Radio. Together, we share a mission to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach the future generations the value of freedom. A freedom bought and paid for and secured by the brave men and women who have worn our nation and our local community uniforms. Stay tuned for We Got Your 6 at 6. Now playing on WeP3 Radio, You'll Make Her Cry by Matt Williams.
Don't ever walk away. Show the world she's your pride and joy. Tell her she's beautiful every day. When she breaks down, you gotta build her up. Show her that you're here to stay. And she'll look up into your eyes, nothing left to say. So she'll cry because she loves you, and there's nowhere in the world she'd rather be.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Truck it on.
Doctors, roll out.
You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
Your thoughts and ideas or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Truck it on.
Hey, Andrea Eichmann here. Tonight, I'm here with Mark Peterson and Frank DeMith as every Sunday night, bringing you the We Got Your 6 at 6 show at, weirdly 6 p.m. Central Time. Every week, we bring a guest and an artist, and then we share some of the good and not so good things that are going on in our world. Tonight, we are sharing music with Ken Busby Jr., and we also will have some conversation with Lance Reed and his mission with Freedom Outdoors Tulsa. We are at the end of our May, which is Military Appreciation Month, so give it one last call out tonight. We'll be talking about some things later that you can do. Also, it's the month of the military caregiver. Keep in mind those people who take care of those who took care of us. Always. Let us give a call out quick. We've got our friends out there who help support us. We talk about them in our newsletter. We talk about them on our shows. Let's get into Derek Iozio with Catch 22 Peer Support. And you've never really seen him on our Sunday night show. That's because he's at one of his groups. And so we thank you very much, Derek, for supporting us each and every month with not just your donations, but your person. Thank you, Derek, with Catch 22 Peer Support. Next up, we have got Operation Texas Strong with Peggy and Bobby Kretzinger. Amazing people out there down in Weatherford, Texas. They are collecting used and new RVs, and we call those campers. We call them trailers. We call them, some of us, like I have some people that call them lake models. These housing that they use to house homeless veterans down there. Check them out on Facebook. I saw Bobby talking today. I didn't get to hear what he was saying, but it is never unnecessary. Thank you, Peggy and Bobby Kretzinger and Texas Strong, Operation Texas Strong. And then one last call out. We've got Stephen Rainwater and Jonathan Wills with Business Growth Engine. They are out there taking care of business as well. If you check that out on Facebook, I've seen Reels, Instagram. Stephen does lessons right there, talks about things that are important to keeping your business running with technology, marketing, advertising, all the good stuff. We're working with him right now, and he's amazing. He and Jonathan take good care. I'll tell you what, we love all of our guests, all of our listeners, all of our sponsors, and we want to thank you. And before we dive into this week's show, we'd like to take a moment and have you join us for this amazing version of the Star Spangled Banner with Dave Bray, USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take the time to stand if you are capable of standing. Out of honor and respect, please remove your covers and prepare yourself how you need to show your greatest gratitude for the amazing freedoms and liberties we have achieved under one of the most powerful symbols in the world. Please cast your attention as we respect our old glory.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner
It is Sunday, May 31st, and you're here for We Got Your 6 at 6. This is episode 307, and it is time to Let's Grow!
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine! I just got three things to say.
And it's
Again, say it again.
Hey, David Wells.
because it's on the loop.
Look at these people checking in. We got Peggy Williams. We got the bearded traveling veteran.
Good
It's
to
so good
see you,
to
brother.
see you.
Guest from last week. Raw, real content. Go check him out. He's not going to spin it. He's not going to. It's real. It's raw. It's the stuff no one really wants to talk. And he's vulnerable. He wears it on his sleeve, and he's going through some of the ugly stuff, and he will present it. And yeah,
Absolutely.
good dude in the world getting it done. David, don't you got your own show to be worrying about right now,
He's
brother?
coming up real shortly. Look at here. He's at the love for love too.
Thanks for stopping in, David. It's good to see you, brother.
And we got Mr. Phil Cook again. Good to see you, Phil.
They're
God
pounding
bless
in.
America. Look at a little love to our through our audience to our audience. Check that stuff out. And then don't forget this guy, Jamie Peacock. It's good to see you tonight.
Another amazing musician. Check out his content, his stuff. He's great, and he's looking to bust throughout into the music world as well. We are here, guys. It is 1800 Central Standard Time. It made a lot of sense back when we were kind of playing through the state of Minnesota to call it We Got Your 6 at 6. I really like the idea. I don't want to go through the branding change, but I like the idea of We Got Your 6 or We Got Your 360. Because we are all inclusive. We go and we get the whole thing. It's not just your 6. We take care of your side. We take care of your front appropriately with boundaries. Yeah. Anyway, we're veterans, man. I mean, we get to talk that way a little bit. And if you don't, it's worse than the locker room. I don't know if you've never been there. And most of our crew that come and check us out, our veteran and first responder background. Look where Frank's at, guys. He's up on top. We never let him go there. We did it. The team is here. The crew is here. And we're coming off of Memorial Day weekend. We're getting ready to blow into the summer. We're getting ready to do some stuff. But we all have a job. There's a little saying at the beginning of our show what the purpose of a patriot is. We will defend this country, domestic or foreign. And but then we all have signed the dotted line and where we said we'd bring our brothers home, and that we will defend this country, and not only as a patriot but as a service member, protect this country and protect our peers, and that's our job. And so we have a spokesperson that shares a message that is pretty important to us. And there is kind of the caveat. It's kind of goofy. I'm not going to lie, but I wanted Bastian the Bison to be the spokesperson. When I think of one of the most, now don't get me wrong, the American eagle, the bald eagle is probably one of the most majestic animals on the face of the earth. But when you think about power, get her done, it's the bison, man, the American bison.
And it tastes delicious.
Well, and yes, you can eat bison, you can eat bald eagles, but we got Bastian the Bison with a little message for you.
At the People's Patriot Project, our mission is more than just words. It's a call to action. Each of us bears the vital responsibility to check your 6. We begin this important journey with a moment of self-assessment. Ask yourself, are you truly mission ready? If the answer is no, don't wait in silence. Reach out, use your skills, lean into your resources, and connect with your network. Whether you turn to a trusted friend, a supportive organization, or dial 988, remember, you must be battle ready to stand strong for the mission ahead. Once you feel equipped, take that next step. Reach out to 6 people in your circle. Check in on them. No agenda, no judgment, just genuine connection. This is how we build strength, shield one another, and serve our communities with pride. Together, we reaffirm our commitment. We got this. Patriot Pride.
Now, here's the message. And yes, the Bassie's a little corny. Maybe I need to tell AI to do it a little different, more aggressive and more paw the dirt and get some things rolling. But the point in Bastian, or not even the Bastian, the message is we got tired of hearing people say, and I know that we got a lot of people in here that come and frequent our show regularly. So I hope this never becomes cliche or, redundant, so to speak. But we got tired of hearing the message of, why didn't I reach out one more time? Okay, here's your excuse not to do that. Reach out to 6 people on your contact list. Yes, we are veteran and first responder forward. That's our mission. Do we think this is important for all people? We do. So that's why, again, you get to do you, and you get to do what you need to do to reach out to those people. The other message we got tired of hearing is, well, why didn't they reach out to me? What a selfish, egotistical, self-centered statement. I mean, clearly, sorry, this might hurt your feelings. Clearly, you weren't important enough. Okay. And again, I get that. And I don't think people that go to take that next step necessarily are thinking about all the things. And it's not because that could touch home in a lot of ways. And so I apologize if that seems a little bit aggressive. But at the same time, man, if you're not there and if you're not in the trenches with them at that time, they're probably not going to share, hey, we're losing 6,000 a year, folks. 6,000 a year.
And Mark, sorry to interrupt, but it's maybe it's just one dude. Maybe it's just one guy that you reach out to on a regular basis. And it doesn't mean you need 15 people that you're super close to. Just check in with somebody, just be that person, be that battle buddy, be that somebody that they can reach out to and be like, you know what, he was kind of top on my list and let me reach out, just extend it.
Well, and we also extend that with we challenge you. We challenge you one more time that there was a relationship somewhere in your life, all of us have it, where your relationship with someone got sideways because of something. Maybe it was an offhanded joke. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe it was a Dear Jody letter. It could have been a number of things. I challenge you to take the high road and reach out. I'll share the why. Here's the why. My best friend from high school, this isn't the first time this story's been shared. My best friend from high school, Navy, he was a nuke. Probably one of the most phenom high school athletes in the history of life, to be honest with you. Just an amazing person, needed structure in his life. That's just what he needed. That was it. If structure was there, he was good. After service, started hitting the bottle a little bit more than probably should. And of course, he was in California, he was in New York, I'm in Minnesota. But we had a falling out, and I made the decision that it wasn't important for my life anymore. And he continued down that path until it was unrecoverable. and we lost him. Really weird part, we lost him actually on my birthday 3 years ago, and I never, if I'd reached out, and I'm not saying if you reach out that's going to be the answer. Don't get me wrong. There's so many nuances that fit into this conversation, but I know sitting there doing nothing isn't going to help. That's what I do know. And the other part is, the classic, and I don't think Jordan necessarily pinned this, but you know what? You miss 100% of all shots you don't take. And so here's the deal. Last weekend, I got a little note from a young lady about the starfish story I share regularly. Starfish, thousands of them on the beach, little boy running, throwing them back into the water. Old man says, "Why are you doing that? You'll never make a difference." Little boy picks up one more starfish, throws it in the water, and says, "Made a difference for that one." That's the conversation Lance was having. That is, we can reach one. And you know what? One's better than none. Can we reach them all? Can't reach them all if we don't take the shot, right?
Yeah.
All right. That gets me into a little longer nuance of the conversation. It is what it is. We've got the amazing Lance Reed here tonight with Freedom Outdoors. And
Outdoors, yes.
I want to see if I can pull this up. We're working with some rudimentary technology here tonight, and I kind of dropped the ball a little bit, and I'll take ownership of it. But let's see if we can get this rolling here. And we will add this. Oh, gotta stop the radio is what I gotta do. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you can hear the audio. No audio. No audio.
No audio.
Oh, I love technology. Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night. Is that a song? Busby, sing it.
Even know it.
Oh, for Pete's sakes. All right, I'll work on that while Busby's singing a song later. We'll get it done. Now I got to figure out where.
Looks like it's muted up there at the top.
Oh, I did see that. Oh, no, we're golden. We're golden now.
You're hired.
Yep, hired. He's hired.
Give that man a raise.
Yeah, pay me double.
Well, no muted still.
Huh.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out. Coming back. Boom. All right. So we got Lance Reed here with Freedom Outdoors. I'm going to call him the original Tulsa King for the rest of the show, just so everyone is aware and knows what's going to happen. The Tulsa King, Lance Reed. Tell us who you are. Tell us about your service and tell us what your mission is, brother.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on here. This is my very first podcast, so it's kind of a knucklehead that found his way on a big platform. So thank you. We're from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I joined the Marine Corps in '96, right out of high school. I was infantry mortarman for all my 0341s out there, but I got to travel the world, man. I got to go all over the place. I went to Bali, Indonesia, Cebu, Philippines, Okinawa, Japan, Australia. Just really got to see some amazing places and just, man, the camaraderie of the Marine Corps or any branch of the service is just amazing. So, and I still stay in contact with a lot of men that I serve with, and that's awesome. That's kind of what we were talking about in the beginning about just staying in contact and just kind of reaching out and making sure that everybody's okay. So anyway, but here in Oklahoma, me and my family, we got a lot of kids. We're a blended family. We got 6 kids. We live on 5 acres. We have horses and goats and chickens and grandkids and, cats and dogs and the whole 9 yards. But anyway, so that's a little bit about us. about as far as the mission, man, about a year and a half ago, I started working with at-risk fatherless young men, and I was teaching a carpentry class at Tulsa Job Corps. And Job Corps was it's throughout the nation, so it's a government-ran facility. But I really saw and felt a need for young men that don't have a good role model. They don't have a good male role model. And so we started, kind of came to my wife and I said, honey, I said, this is a big, huge need. And interesting enough, throughout my life, even as a young kid and up into my adulthood, I've taken people outdoors my entire life. I mean, I literally have taken cousins and nephews and uncles and brothers and everybody out into the outdoors and hunting, fishing, whatever, horseback riding. So this was nothing new that I was doing. I'm a redneck at heart. This is kind of who I am. If I could stay out all day in the woods and hunt, that's what I would do. So this was nothing new to me, but the concept of these young men don't have anybody to take them out and show them how to ride a horse or show them how to bait a hook or any of that. I mean, they're at Job Corps, guys. I know this sounds basic, but I had to show them how to swing a hammer and how to dig a ditch. And like the simplest things that you just kind of think, well, somebody showed me that. Nobody's showing them this. No one's showing them how to do the basics of how to be a productive citizen, how to go out and even as simple as shaking someone's hand and asking for a job or dressing nice. I mean, all of these things have to be taught. They have to be brought, and someone in your life has to show you how to do that. And so I saw these young men that were just starving for attention and starving for leadership. And hey, why not me? Why can't I? Why can't I be the one person? We were talking earlier about being that one person. I want to be the guy throwing the starfish out and saying, that one right there, I was able to help. And so that's the whole mission is we take these young men. The majority of these young men are from really bad situations. They're from really bad home lives. They're from really bad areas and economically just, man, I'm telling you, just bad. And we're taking these young men, usually about from 17 to 24. We take them, and I have a resource here in Tulsa where essentially they have the heartbeat of this community where they just allow young men to be able to come and go do these activities and do these things. And we're seeing immense, just amazing transformation in these young men. So for instance, the very first thing we do, we take them out fishing. That's something super simple, super easy. We teach them not only when they're out there, but we say, hey, guess what? We teach them life skills about fishing. And these things that you go out, it's not called catching, it's called fishing, because not every time you're going to catch something. And teaching them that, guess what? You're going to get knocked down. There's issues that are going to happen. There's problems that you just got to get up and keep on going. And so through fishing, I mean, it's super simple, but through fishing, you can teach so many life lessons through just a simple fishing trip. And these young men, when they come to us, a lot of times they've never caught a fish. They've never fished. Or when they have fished, it was when they were 4 years old or 6 years old or something like that. So taking these young men and taking them out of their environment and taking them out of what they're in right now, which I tell people this all the time, guys, everybody has role models. Everybody does. They might not be very good role models, but they have role models. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to show them what a good role model looks like. And guess what? I tell my young men all the time, I don't have it all figured out. If you're looking for someone who's perfect, you better keep on looking, because that ain't me. I still struggle. I still, that we can't just put on the bluff. They're going to see right through that. And so, but showing them that, hey, I'm a man. I put on my boots just like you do, but let me show you some stuff that I've been through. Let me show you some heartaches that I've encountered. And let's try not to do that. Let's try to show them what a good, amazing father looks like. Let's show them what a good husband looks like. Let's show them what a good leader in their community looks like. Let's show them what that looks like and really impact their lives. And this is what's happening. When we take these young men out fishing, horseback riding, ATV riding, paintballing, camping, hiking, hunting, that's a very impressionable thing that happens to them. For instance, one of the young men I took out just last year, we were able to take him out for his very first. Now, this is a young man that actually has been with me for a very long time. I had him, we were able to teach him carpentry at Job Corps, and we were able to do some other things and find him a job. And we gave him a vehicle to get to that job. And this young man, he's hungry. He's hungry for leadership. And we were able to take him out, shoot his very first deer. We were able to shoot, show him how to fish. And whenever we shot that deer, we brought it back, we skinned it up, we took the meat off the bones, we put it in a freezer Ziploc bags, and the next day we cooked that sucker up. I mean, like, we're teaching them very valuable skills. Now, here's the deal. Are you going to be able to use that tomorrow? No, probably not. But guess what? The skills and the things that they have learned from that and to how to overcome, because guess what? We went out 15 times probably to shoot that deer, and we never shot one until the very last time. So teaching them that, guess what? You try the first time, you might not succeed. You might not succeed 47 times after that, but you keep on going. You put one foot in front of the other, and you're teaching them about the grit and about what it takes to be a man. And so, man, we're just seeing amazing outcomes on this. We're seeing young men that are just, it's transforming their lives. And whenever I tell people about this, you want to rinse and repeat. You want to see how that is done and do it over and over and over. And you want to take these young men and really impact their lives. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. At the end of our program, we take these young men and we find them a job. We take them to a staffing company that we have here in town, and we say, hey, we've got a young man that's looking for a job. And we find them a job. And then our program actually accepts donated vehicles. We're a 501(c)(3), we're a nonprofit. And so we accept vehicles so that people can donate those vehicles, and we can get those guys into the workforce. Like, we can get them from where they were, from the mentality and the things that they, and guys, I don't have to tell you this, but we're teaching young men to live off the system, and that's not good. We're not but the society, we're teaching them things that are not productive. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get that hook in their mouth. We're trying to get their attention. We're trying to get something that just about every young man wants to go ride a four-wheeler, go fishing, go ride a horse. Like, that's some really cool man stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so once we get that hook in them, a lot of times we see that their defense goes from up here to lower down, and now they can talk to you. They can share about their trauma. They can share about their problems, their issues. And guys, that's an amazing thing. That's an amazing thing to be able to be the person who helps them to do that. So that's in a nutshell, that's what we do.
Outstanding. And there's more than one way to skin a cat. I figured it out. Here we go. We will do this. We will we'll make it the main screen. And
okay, look, take these two fingers right here. It's okay. Hold this.
Imagine not ever having a positive role model in your life.
Push down on it. Yep.
About 1 in 3 young men say they have never had a man to turn to. That means 30% of the young men are flying blind. A few months back, a man named Lance Reed reached out to us. He sent some pictures of some young men about the age of 17 to 22 that he was mentoring from the inner city of Tulsa. Lance has a nonprofit called Freedom Outdoors. He takes at-risk teens and shows them how to be men. They spend time riding horses.
Having fun?
Yes, sir.
All right.
First time,
That's right. Phil's first time.
How to hunt and fish, how to cook, how to build things. He teaches them how to be a man. In other words, Lance is filling the gap. And when I saw these pictures, I knew that I wanted to partner with him. And if it's something that you want to partner with, stick around. You can find out how you can. By the way, this is the heartbeat of the Battle Branch Boys. From now on, we are going to amplify the mission. So today I'm going to Broken Arrow, Oklahoma to meet Lance for lunch and get his heartbeat for the young men in green country.
I've done a lot of things in my life. I've been a Marine. I've been an electrician. I've done things work-wise. The things that I've learned in my life, we're taking this and we're teaching these young men because they don't have anybody else to show them how to do simple things. Who showed you how to dig a ditch? Who showed you how to polish your boots? Who showed you how to ride a horse? Somebody in your life, somebody, a male role model most likely, had showed you how to do that, how to go out and hunt, how to fish, how to create things. We're trying to be the male role model in these young men's lives that they can take that and apply that to their lives and do great things. The website is going to be freedomoutdoorstulsa.com. And also we're on Facebook, so Freedom Outdoors Tulsa, Instagram, TikTok, all the platforms we're on them, YouTube. Check us out, Freedom Outdoors Tulsa.
We'd like to thank the Battle Branch crew for providing that footage and getting out there and taking care of that. Had a couple conversations with him, and I don't have his name you can help me with his name, Lance.
Yeah, Logan.
Just didn't have a tip of my tongue. I just searching through my phone real quick, and of course, too many contacts in there. It's this hits really close to my heart. And a lot of people probably don't know this, but there's another organization out there that was started many years ago called Providence Farms. That was my branch of helping youth. I've helped build 5 programs across the country that help adjudicated young men get to the next space or the place. And you know what? Again, it's kind of like hunting, to be honest with you. You can go out there and you can service and help 100 kids, 100 young men, and you might get 3 or 4 of them that can get to the next level. I wish it was more. But again, another story. Andrea and myself are both school teachers, and this is something that we find. If you don't know how to write, how do you get them to write? You don't throw it in front of them and say, "Hey, write." Okay. Everything needs to be taught, and the reality is, I use this phrase and statement a lot, and I don't like the word victim, but it's kind of it sends the nuance. So we are victims of our media. When I say media, I'm not talking about the news. I'm talking about what you bring in. From the time you are born, your parents, your clergy, your grandparents, your friends, your organizations, and I don't want to use, like I said, I don't want to use the word victim, but if you don't use the right tools and if you are not taught the pieces you're supposed to, isn't it ironic to believe if you were in an abusive household where you watch this happen daily, that is the trait you learn.
Yep.
You walk away with that.
Yep.
If you are in a world where trust is broken every day of your life, then that's what you learn. You don't trust. That needs to be taught. And I'll be honest, folks. It's tough to teach trust in the world we live in right now based on the number of people that reach into your back pocket and take your last dollar just because they could.
Yeah.
How do you teach that?
Yeah. And Mark, it blows me away when I hear these stories of these young men. And I know this sounds, I'm so blessed to come from a father that loved me and a family that loved me. And I'm very, very blessed to come from an amazing family. But I don't know how you would treat a dog like you treat some of these stories that I hear of how these young men are being treated and how they're being abused and how they're being taken advantage of. And it baffles my mind how a human being could do that to their children. I can't comprehend it. And so when I hear these stories, and whenever I hear these, and they're not just, first of all, let's be honest. Whenever you have these young men, again, they're guarded because they have been hurt so many times over and over and over. And when you do earn that trust, that is an amazing God thing that happens, that we're able to step into these young men's lives and find out about their trauma and about their hurt and about the cycle of addiction and incarceration and abuse that happens in these communities. And what are we doing about it? Like that's kind of what I came to was, I can do something about it. I can help out. I can, and so just here recently, and it was a combined effort with my wife. None of this can happen without the support of your wife. But we came to a point where I said, honey, I got to start doing this full time. Like, I feel like this is something that is so important and so worthwhile of doing, and the impact that it has on these young men's lives, that like I want to do it over and over and over. And so I stepped out about a month and a half ago from a full-time job, paid position, to nothing, to no paid position. And we're getting funding, and we're trying to beat the streets and tell people about our mission. And man, we would love any kind of support we can get, but it's worthwhile. It's worth doing. It's something that it makes a difference to that person. And we have been able to do that with these young men over and over and over. And again, we want to just rinse and repeat. We want to do that as many times as we can, because there's so many young men out there starving. I just recently, we're able to get into the Native American community here in Oklahoma. And that's going to be an amazing door that we can step into and do the same thing, because I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you came from. If you don't have a male role model, if you don't have a dad in your life, or somebody that's of high influence, whether it's an uncle or a grandpa or something, who's going to show you? I love what mothers mean to us, and good Lord, we couldn't live without them. But you need a daddy. You need somebody. You need a father figure to be able to step in there and show them some of these things that that a mom can't. That a dad, that there's a reason why God created a male and female, and that unity of a family is so important. And it's our history. I mean, think about this. I'm not going to get into statistics, but good Lord, when a dad is not present in a home, look at the drug addiction, look at the incarceration, look at the teen pregnancy, look at the suicide rate, you name it. You can name everything. When there is not a male role model in that scenario, in that family, it falls apart. And now you're going to have some one-offs, and you're going to have some people, but as a whole, it's devastating to our community. It's devastating to our young men and families. And guess what? Guess what they do when they see abuse, when they see addiction, when they see incarceration? What do? Oh, they just continue that cycle. They just keep on doing the same thing that they were taught, just over and over. And they teach their kids how to do it over. And we can't do that.
There's so many nuances we can get into, but we need to get Ken in here to share his mission, his story. Lance isn't going anywhere. We're going to share some more stuff here. Thank you for your service, Lance. Your service in the military, and then also continuing the mission with these young men in the world. We greatly appreciate all that, and hopefully, the sky's the limit, man. It's awesome. Kenneth Busby Jr.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your patience, brother.
Oh no, it's fine. Lance,
that was intense, right?
Amazing.
That's good stuff, right?
Yeah, Lance, what you're doing with those young men, you're changing lives, man. You're God, it's so needed in this world today. We got young men out there doing some terrible things. Just had a police report the other day, 2 15 and 17-year-old men driving 110 miles an hour, arrested with drugs, guns, and stolen merchandise in the vehicle with them. It's everywhere. Rural Alabama down here, all over the world. What you're doing is going to pay dividends. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Busby, tell us who you are, tell us about your service, and tell us what your mission is.
Sure, yeah. Ken Busby Jr. Served in the Army from 2002 to 2007. Served in 1st Infantry Division, 1st MP Company. Deployed to Iraq and Kosovo. Then served in Fort Detrick, Maryland, and then got out medical discharge in Fort Benning. As far as my mission, I'm writing songs now. It's something that I never thought I'd do. 4 years ago, my wife and I went to Frank Brown songwriting festival down in Gulf Shores, and was sitting in on a show for Dean Dillon, and he was talking about writing music, and I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I've got some lyrics in my head and things, melodies and music and things. Maybe I could do this. And then the next people that came on after him was some guys about my age, a little bit younger, and they were doing it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I can. So I went home and I started, putting down lyrics and things like that and ideas. And the problem I had was I didn't know how to play any music. I didn't know how to play guitar. And I got looking for somebody to teach me how to play guitar, and I found Guitars for Vets. And I graduated from there in June of 2024. So I've only been playing guitar for a couple of years now. But it opened up the door for me to write my own songs and put the music to them. And that's what I've been doing since I graduated.
Outstanding. Well, it's your platform, brother. Let's roll one out.
All right. Well, this is a song I wrote with Bobby Tomberlin and in Huntsville at a songwriting retreat for Freedom Sings USA. And we go in there and you're supposed to write about yourself and tell your story, and the songwriter's supposed to help you write it. But I didn't really have a story I wanted to tell and thought it would be boring. So we sat down and wrote this song about a World War II veteran from Topeka, Kansas, named Jerry Hinton. And he had served in World War II, stormed the beaches of Normandy, and came back home and lived out his life there in Topeka, and was celebrating his 105th birthday. And that's where I found him. And he was given an interview, and the interviewer asked him, what's your secret to staying living so long? And he kind of looked at him and laughed and said, I don't really have a secret. The devil don't want me. The Lord won't have me. I'm just too mean to die. And when I heard that, I knew I had a song, and I took it in there and had a couple of different versions of it for Bobby and me to look at. And in about 30, 45 minutes, we had this song written, and I'd like to play it for y'all. It's Too Mean to Die. I saw an old man on the news who fought in World War II. From the lines on his face, he'd seen a thing or two. He lived through the Great Depression, farming in that Nebraska heat. Survived those bloody beaches down on the Normandy. When that reporter asked him, what's your secret to life? Well, that old man looked him dead in the eyes, and he said, I don't have a secret. I'm asked that all the time. Hell, I ain't gonna lie. The devil, he don't want me. The Lord, he won't have me. So I guess the only reason why I'm just too mean to die. 21 years old, a ship far from home. I was sent to fight an evil that the world had never known. Why I survived, why so many met their fate, saddled with all this guilt. Let me shoot it to you straight. I don't have a secret, I mask that all the time. Hell, I ain't gonna lie. The devil, he don't want me. The Lord, he won't have me. So I guess the only reason why I'm just too mean to die. He said, I don't have a secret, I mask that all the time. Hell, I ain't gonna lie. The devil, he don't want me. The Lord, he won't have me. So I guess the only reason why I'm just too mean to die. Yeah, I've stared down the barrel and I've kissed the edge of time, but I'm still standing here cause I'm just too mean to die. Yeah, we're all standing here cause he's just too mean to die.
That is Ken Busby, Too Mean to Die.
I found my new theme song.
It's a good one, man.
Mean, Frank, you're not mean.
Oh, hell.
And you know, that's what the whenever I talked to the lady there at the nursing home that he was living in, that's exactly what she said. There's not a mean bone in his body, but he tells everybody that, and he just gets the biggest kick out of it. And you know, we were scheduled to go up there and sing that song for him for his 106th birthday. But unfortunately, he passed away about 2 weeks before we were able to make it up there. So he never got to hear the song. We were going to surprise him with it. So now I go around and try and play it for as many World War II veterans as I can in his honor. Jerry Hinton from Topeka, Kansas. God bless him. But
tell us more about your story, Ken.
Yeah, so you know, going through and writing these songs and it's saved my life. You know, there's healing power in music, and I try and tell everybody that. You know, before I was going through a lot of things after a divorce and things like that. And music has kind of helped me out of that. I can write about things and put it to paper and I put it out or not. You know, it's just for me. There's a lot of songs that I've written that are just for me, and that'll never see the light of day. But it still helps me get things off my chest and the weight off my shoulders. You know, and then there's times like the song I'm gonna sing next is "Unworthy." And a buddy of mine had called me, and he was telling me how he felt unworthy of the VA benefits that they were getting, and going out and asking help from the VA. And I talked to him, and I told him, I was like, you know, you earned the benefits. You know, you earned the right to claim them and get help. Everybody has. And he was like, well, I'm not missing an arm or a leg or like other people. You know, there's more people more deserving than I am. And I was like, yes, there are, but you're still as deserving, you know. And you need to go and you get help if you need it. And that's what it's there for. And you shouldn't feel bad about getting it. That just happened to be the Wednesday before Memorial Day, and I'm driving down to Pensacola for another songwriting retreat down there, and passing by a veteran cemetery along the way, and you're just driving pine trees down towards Florida from Alabama, and there's this opening, and it's just this, I wouldn't say magnificent sight, but it's a beautiful sight, It's just opens up, and it's just these headstones lined up and just this order and straight lines and, these even rows and everything like that. And that visualization just captured in my brain as I'm driving by, and I get down there and I'm sitting there trying to think of something to write about. And his Unworthy was coming into one ear, and the visualization of that cemetery was coming into the other. And I sat down and I wrote Unworthy, and it's a song about redemption and regret, redemption, and oh God, it just left me. But redemption, redemption, and regret, and it's a storyline that follows this one person, and it's just an amazing song. And the songs like that, they just come out of different things, and you pull it out of the ether, so to speak, and it comes from like the different places. And there was nothing in the song written specifically about what me and my buddy talked about, just outside of Unworthy. But that played a huge major role in it. And had I not had that conversation with him, that wouldn't have been on my mind when I wrote it.
We'll get to that song here after we go through the next phase, but you've gotten through this through a little bit of adversity. Do you want to share anything about that?
With the adversity, with my stroke and all of that. Yeah. In 2019, I had a stroke. Me and my wife were coming back from my honeymoon, and we were driving on I-65 North. We'd coming from New Orleans, got through Mobile, and hit traffic. Was sitting there for hours and hours. Anybody that's been on I-65 coming up during Labor Day week, after Labor Day weekend, will tell you it's you don't go far, and you don't go fast. And so we got to about Greenville, and Ginger, my wife, asked me a question, and I went to answer her, and my brain fired off like I'm talking right now, and nothing came out of my mouth. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what's going on? And I try again. I try again, and nothing. My mouth didn't move. Nothing came out of my vocal cords. Air didn't even get pushed up like it would. Nothing happened. But my brain was firing off and saying, hey, talk, say this. And nothing was coming out. And I'm sitting there, and I'm getting scared. I'm driving, and I'm kind of figuring out what's going on, and figuring out how to tell my wife, who I just married, and I could be dying right here on the side of the street. And I can't even tell her I love her. I can't tell you I love you. I can't do anything. Now, I never lost any power in my arms or my legs or any of that normally comes with stroke. My face didn't droop. So she had no clue. She got mad. She thought I wasn't talking to her, that I was ignoring her. And she looks over at me, and I look at her, and I got this look on my face like I'm scared to death. And she's like, what's going on? And I just shook my head, and she's like, you can't talk. And I shook my head, yeah. And she's like, what's going on? And I just, kind of like, I don't know. And, we're stop and go drive in traffic, not going anywhere. And it's going to take, 3 hours probably to get to Montgomery, just driving by ourselves. So she convinces me to finally pull over to the side of the road. I was just going to drive myself to the hospital, I guess. And we called an ambulance, and they came and got me and had me to Baptist South in about an hour. And whenever we pulled in, there was a whole herd of doctors waiting on me whenever we came out of the ambulance, and they took me and got the treatment I needed immediately and was able to save my life. And I thank God every day for that ambulance crew that drove basically the side of the interstate all the way from Greenville, Alabama to Montgomery Baptist South to get me there in time, because you only have a 2-hour window to get that and for it to work before it's permanent. And I was blessed by great doctors there that and a stroke team that took care of me as soon as they were waiting on me before the ambulance even got there. The doors opened up and they were already there all over me, asking me questions and taking me in to get the treatment I needed immediately. And now I have a stutter every once in a while whenever I get real excited or get tired. That comes out. I forget things from time to time. But other than that, I've been really blessed with not having a lot of adverse effects from it. But it was something that I would have never thought that I would. At that time, I wasn't even thinking about singing or songwriting or anything like that. But I would have never thought that I'd been able to going through that. I would have never thought I could learn how to play the guitar and remember chords and things like that. But through Guitars for Vets, they have instructors that are trained to teach you how to play with different disabilities and things like that. There's guys who don't have any use in their hands, and they're teaching them how to play. Scotty Hastings was just on the other day, and he has a hard time holding a pick. They were helping him with different types of picks and things so he can have a better grip on the pick. There's so much that Guitars for Vets does for people in the program to teach them. And if any veteran is out there and they're looking to want to learn how to play guitar and thought, I'll never be able to, give Guitars for Vets a chance. Their instructors are phenomenal. They have online. Cyber chapter has online instructors, and I promise you, they're gonna do what they can to. If you're wanting to learn, and you're willing to put the time in to do it, they got the instructors there to help you do it and make it happen.
Well, thanks for hanging in there, brother. Thank you for your content. Your message is amazing, and we're going to hear more from you with Unworthy here coming up in a bit. Lance Reed, what are you working on now? I mean, it's your mission is kind of like our mission, where there's no finish line. There might be milestones. But you started the ball rolling. It's not going to stop rolling. You're going to stay in this, probably until you can't do it anymore. Well, but what are you working on now? Oh, we got some audio stuff. Oh, I got you. There we go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I've told several people this, that I pray and I wish that men and women, and I'm 48 years old. It took me a while to get here. I've done all sorts of things. I've done many different types of jobs. This is what I was born and raised, and this is the accumulation of everything that I've been through. This is it. What I'm doing now. I was talking to someone and I said, you got a job that's paying $250,000. I don't want it. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is my passion. This is my purpose. This is what I believe that God has put me here for. So once you find that purpose, and once you find that passion that is in you and God put there for you, there's nothing really else for you. That is it. So, but where we're at now is, in the past, I've owned a glass company, and I had to get it up off the ground and start it. It's like starting a business. I mean, you're starting essentially a business. You're going out, you're trying to get people to buy into, what you're doing. You're trying to get insurance. You're trying to get, land so that you can go do these activities. And it's very, very much, it's like starting a business. So, I have a YouTube channel, and I have a Facebook and an Instagram and all of that other stuff, TikTok, and I'm going on there making videos daily of, hey, we're in need of this. We're in need of, cars for these young men. We're in need of this, that, and the other. And so putting the message out there, and that's what I'm so thankful for you guys, this platform, is getting the message out there that we want to do a great many things, but the resources is what we're lacking. The funds, the land to do it on. And we have several different places that we're doing these events on. Have about 4 different places where I can go and do fishing or horseback riding or ATV riding or hunting, that kind of stuff. So that's amazing. But it's like starting a business. It's like starting from the ground zero. And obviously you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing, and insurance is in place, and all of the things that go along with running something like this. Something that it didn't take me back, but something that really opened my eyes. One of my followers, they said, hey, I've asked the mayor of Tulsa, why isn't there a program like this? And he said something to the effect of, there's too much liability. I get that. I understand what that looks like. I if you're not going into this thinking you got to protect the young men and women, you're probably not doing it for the right reason. But that's not a reason not to have it. That's not a reason not to go in and to these communities and reach these young men because it's too risky. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So so that's what we're doing. We're going in and we're making a difference. We're getting the groundwork. We're getting, like I said, we're in need of, just like any other nonprofit, we're in need of money and resources and things that any other nonprofit needs. But it's amazing every time I turn around, just like you guys who reached out to me and said, hey, we'd love to have you on here. That gives me the reassurance. That gives me the peace that I know that I'm doing the right thing. Whenever I have people coming up and saying, hey, this is a wild thing that you're doing. We need more people like this. Whenever I had that video, the video that we showed earlier, it's at about 1.7 million views. I've never had a video. First of all, I'm not that savvy with videos and that kind of stuff. But whenever it posted, that's amazing. And I've had people all over the United States and even the UK. I had a man from the UK say, man, we'd love to start a program like that here. People are hungry. Young men are, and even adults that are in their later lives. Maybe you've done well in your career. Maybe you've done, that's not the end. Just because you've made it and you got the vacation home or you've got the this or whatever, there's something else out there for you. And that's what we're really trying to really show our viewers and people that are with us is we need help. We need assistance, because this is something that it's not just something that is in a far off land. We're not doing this in Uganda. We're not doing this in Iraq, or this is Tulsa, USA. This is right here in our backyard. And there's more and more people that I would suggest and challenge. If this is laid upon your heart to reach out into your community and do something for the young men who don't have a role model, who don't have a father figure, who don't have leadership, do it. Go out and do it. Even if it's part-time, even if it's a little bit on your weekends, even get out of your comfort zone and go do it and make an impact on young men's lives. So that's kind of where we're at.
Have you considered presenting something to the Chamber of Commerce in Tulsa?
So not yet. The places that I've reached out since I've started doing this in about a month and a half is I've reached out to a lot of the churches, the local churches. And when I say local churches, these are the pretty large, 2,000 and 3,000 member churches. And then I've reached out to community leaders. So we're in with the Tulsa Dream Center it's essentially a community outreach type of deal. We're involved.
Here's why Chamber of Commerce might be something for you to think about. companies are always looking for write-offs, especially charitable donations. So you may have some pull there with the pitch that you have, because it's a great program, and what better way to donate and help your community than to put money into what you're doing.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Infuriates me the liability conversation on this.
Yeah.
It's not a reason.
It's an excuse.
It's an excuse.
Yep.
It requires work. And here's the deal, folks. What the craziness of all this is, there's people willing to put the work into it. It's not putting money into a bucket where you get a bunch of uneducated. I'm going to go a little aggressive on this. I'm sorry. I'm sure they do have a skill set. But you're not throwing money into a bucket where you get a bunch of people who aren't invested, don't care, see it every single day, splashing it out on EBT cards.
Yep.
It is a bona fide process of education that creates an opportunity for these young men to take ownership for their actions, because they get to see what the final product is through swinging a hammer, through going and investing some time in fishing. I get so angry on this topic in the fact that our legislators are essentially just lazy, and they are okay with they can tie their tie in the morning, and they can go sit at a desk all day long, and they can create all these budgets and these pieces, but they don't invest their time unless it gets them a vote.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that's aggressive. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this is like, when the proof is right there, it's sitting there, we can grab it, we can touch it, we can hold it, we can create the whole opportunity. You've got a young man living in your house, for Pete's sakes. Who else does that?
Yeah.
It goes back to be better. We need to figure out the be better piece. And the be better is investing your time.
I'd much rather my tax dollars go to something like what Lance is doing than transgender frogs in Bolivia or wherever the hell it is, too. I mean, the government blows money like it's crazy, and then guys like Lance out here doing phenomenal work that's going to save the government money with prisons and everything like that don't get a dime, and wouldn't even get looked at for anything. But some crazy nonsense is going to get fully funded to millions of dollars. It's insane. I don't get it. Lance, I hope you get every dime that you ever need for what you're doing. It's a phenomenal job and a phenomenal business. I mean, you're not for profit. I hope it goes countrywide. I hope there's a Freedom Outdoors in every single state in America.
Amen.
Yeah.
And I hope they're all fully funded.
I appreciate that. I really do. And there can be a whole separate podcast on waste and abuse and our tax dollars going. Let's not even go there, because I'll get all
focus on that. If you focus on that, they win, and that's the part that sucks. That's the part that's in the news. That is all those things, and you are proactively getting your hands dirty, boots on the ground, doing it. I want to celebrate that. That's why we asked you onto the show. We have a veteran that has served his country, and now we've got a man with integrity that is going out and helping young men. Yes, I'm sorry, someone's going to be pissed off because there's not a female program. Build it. Let's go. Let's grow. Let's get it done.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. And I'm just doing with what I have. And that's what I'm trying to impress to every person that's listening is, you don't have to have a bajillion dollars. Go do with what you have in your hands. Go do with what you have in your community. Go do something worthwhile in your area and in my area, in every area that you can do. It's that one starfish. It's that one starfish that is living in my house right now that I have. It is amazing how radically has changed his life. A young man that was living in just a cesspool of family junk. And he said, I need somewhere to go. And we allowed him to come in our home. And guys, and girls, he's part of our family. He's part of our, and it has completely changed his outcome of his life, what it would have looked like if he would have stayed in that scenario. So it's really, it hits home to me because I see the difference that it can make. I see the actual turning around of what it can do for a young man's life when you take the time and when you take resources and pour it into these young men. They want it. Now, let's look at the other side of this coin, because that's one thing that I did notice whenever I started this was I might have 10 young men that I have out there, and only 5 or 6 of them really want it. They really want to progress. They really want to move up. They really want to put forth the effort. They really want. The other ones, man, you can hand it to them on a silver platter and they won't take it. So you have to be wise. You have to be discerning of what young men are wanting to move up and what young men are wanting to progress, because that's the ones I want to invest in. That's the ones that I want to pour everything that I have into and show them what we can do and how we can change their entire life if they'll just be willing. And that's where we want a willing person that is willing and open to say, yes, I do need leadership. I do need someone to teach me. I do need someone to show me what it looks like to be a good, godly man, someone to be a good father. And again, like I said in the beginning, I'm not perfect. I got issues just like everybody else. So I'm not sitting here saying, oh, look at me, I'm so great. No. Forget that. But what I have in my hands, I'm willing to give to somebody. So
you're a blessing, brother, and we appreciate you. This is just, again, we get giddy when we see really boots on the ground, and it's. So we had a pre-show visit one day, and I got to meet the young man. I'm telling you, I didn't know him before. I just know nothing but respect came out of his mouth. I know that there was just a ghee and a nature about him, and I'm confident he's found that in your home. And so, again, amazing job, amazing effort, and I'm confident you're having the time of your life doing it too.
Oh, this is my passion. This is like showing these young men. I was just last weekend. I have we have 5 acres and I have a shooting range in my backyard, and I was able to show some young men some gun safety and how to shoot a gun and a little 22. Like I get so much fulfillment out of that. Like that fills my cup all the way up. Like whenever I'm able to go out there and show a young man how to ride a horse for the very first time, show a young man how to shoot a gun for the very first, like, I don't know about you guys, but as a redneck, that is the creme de la creme. That is the top of the top. Whenever I can share that and show that and see that they can repeat it and that they can do that, what else is there? I mean, that is the best of the best.
I used to work in a first-tier inner-city program, and one of the things we would do is we worked with a local, I wouldn't call it luxury, but higher-end clothing program, and we would do a fashion show with the young men and women in our program to put them in the clothes. And then we would work out where we would then have them, I want to use the word usher. Usher is not the right word. We'd have them drove to a nice restaurant. Not at, I was going to say Applebee's, but Andrew really likes Applebee's. So, but I mean, it was the best of the community had. I mean, it was the top. And we would figure out, and they looked at me and they would, one conversation, they're like, Mr. Peterson, it's like we're rich. And I'm going, it's not about being rich, man. It's about your investment in life.
Yep.
And if you get to do this one time a year, figure it out. If you find a lifestyle where you get to do this every day of your life, there are people that eat, and this restaurant is $100+ a plate kind of restaurant. And I've seen many people in there, not that I've been there a lot, but I've watched who gets to go there, And that there are people that eat there like daily at choice. And they're like, people can afford to eat this daily. And I'm like, yeah.
We took some young. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go.
We took some young men from the area that we're talking about, and we took them. My cousin, he's done very well for himself in real estate and this kind of stuff, and he's a phenomenal businessman. And I told him, I said, hey, I've got these young men that were looking to go eat some lunch, and do you want to join us? And he's like, oh yeah. He said, meet us over here at the steakhouse. Well, it was a decent steakhouse. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was nice. And they took these young men, and we went over there, and my cousin said, hey, anything you want, order it on the menu. Can I tell you that 4 out of the 5 young men that were in that deal said, I've never been able to order whatever I want off the menu ever. Like, I've never been to a nice restaurant and been able to order whatever I want. It's always been, oh, well, hey, we're in a nice restaurant. You need to buy this, or you need to get this. And the thought went into my head of how amazing is just one simple meal that my cousin was able to supply for these young men. And it made an impact. It made a big difference in their lives. And guess what? Every other time that I get around these young men, they ask me about him. Hey, where's Jerry? What's he doing? What's he up to? It makes a big difference. It impacts their life. And that's what I'm trying to say is these little small things that we think, especially as I have horses, I have fishing ponds, I have the deer hunting place. It's not a big deal. But to these young men who have never been able to experience that is something that they will never forget for the rest of their life. When they're 95 years old, talking to their grandkids, they'll tell them about the time that the very first time they shot their deer, or the very first time they rode a horse, or whatever. We're impacting these young men's lives. And I'm hoping and praying that these young men will take this and they'll repeat it. And they'll change that cycle, and they'll change that cycle of destruction, and that cycle of living off the government and being like their parents, and being like the incarcerated and the addicted, and that we can change that cycle. And we can. Each and every person can. They can make an impact on somebody's life.
That food is some crazy stuff, and I do believe the root to someone's soul is through their belly. And that I have tested this. And when we would do intakes, I would always let them choose, where would you like to go eat? And I'm telling you, like, it's all fast food. They want to go to, and I'm the sky's the limit. Let's go. You pick. And the fanciest place out of about 160 people one year was an Embers, which is like a Perkins, or that's. And I'm like, okay. But then I had the chance to teach them. And again, I'm a foodie, so I make food that is like, we would rather eat in than eat out. And that's kind of and you teach them these things, and it's just a skill set. And it's like, the root to the soul is through the belly, man. You feed them well and feed them right. One of my I did welfare fraud for a number of years, and we would get case on case when these people have the EBT cards, and literally they would eat or drink. There was this case, a 2-liter a bottle of Mountain Dew, a box of donuts, and some potato chips, and that's what the guy was eating daily for his meals. And I'm like, you are not going to feel good about yourself. You're not emotionally, you're not feeding yourself. Psychologically, you're not feeding yourself. You get some, and I'm not saying because I'm not a big veggie guy. I mean, that's not the high list. There's not many 2 times I go to a restaurant and order up a salad. That's not happening too often. But you take care of people, man, and they'll take care of you. And feed them, literally.
Yeah, well, the young man that's living here with us, Mari. It's simple stuff. Like my wife, she on Wednesday nights we have a lot of stuff going with. We have 6 kids, so we have a lot of grandbabies and this and that and the other. But Wednesday nights is our dinner time. That's our dinner night. And there's been multiple times just recently. my wife was making shepherd's pie. So, the potatoes and the meat and the cheese on top and bacon, and just divine, right? Well, Mari had never had it. And we told him we were going to make it that night, and he had to work late or he had to do something. And he was really disappointed that he was missing dinner night with shepherd's pie. And something that we take so simple and so basic and rudimentary of, it's what mom's making. It's what she's providing for the family. And they don't have that. They don't have a mom or a dad to sit down at the dinner table. And we sit down every opportunity we get at the dinner table, because years ago, I heard a study about the amount of the people that sat down at a dinner table with their family, the amount of less suicide, less incarceration, less teen pregnancy, less this, because you're gathering around food and you're creating an environment of love and peace and harmony. They don't get that in their homes, and we can provide that for them. We can provide a small little portion of that to help change their lives. So it is simple. It is simple, but it's impactful.
It is simple. It is simple. Yeah. Mr. Busby, again, thank you for your amazing patience and sitting and listening to this. I don't have you put some stuff in the chat. I don't have the capability of loading that at this time. So
sure.
We're going to go with you, man.
We'll just play it.
What are you working on right now?
I got 2 songs in the studio, Unworthy and My Personal Hell. We're working through it. The day I went up to the studio to record, I'd lost hearing in my left ear. A significant amount, multiple frequencies just gone. It felt like I had stuffed ear. Craziest thing, I thought I was getting another ear infection. I'd gotten them before. So I just waited it out and tried to treat it myself. And about a week, 2 weeks went by and it wasn't getting any better. I went to the ENT and they're like, no, this is not an ear infection. It's a sudden hearing loss. They gave me steroids and that helped for a little bit. But as the steroids started drifting off, coming off of them, the hearing loss came back. And so then I went 3 weeks of getting a needle shoved in my inner ear and steroids injected right into my inner ear once a week. A pain that I would not encourage anybody to undertake. It's excruciating, but didn't help. I still don't have the hearing back. I went through all that for basically nothing. But trying to get used to my new hearing and get back in the studio to do the vocals, redo the vocals on those. Hopefully soon. Working with a vocal coach to get through that and learn my new normal with this hearing loss. That's what I'm working on right now, trying to recover from that and learn how to deal with it now going forward. You wouldn't think that it would have a significant as an impact as it does, but it really does.
Well, let's hear Unworthy, brother.
Yeah, sure. So this is the song I wrote Memorial Day weekend last year. Initially wrote it by myself, and I took it to a buddy of mine, and he John Hensley, and he was like, the chord structure is a little elementary, which I've only been playing guitar for a year at that point, and I didn't argue with him one bit because I don't know a lot. And he helped me with the chords, and we changed up a few things. And so he's a co-writer on it, me and John on this one. And I really like it. I've got a vision for a video whenever it comes out of a guy driving a red Corvette down the road with dog tags hanging down from the mirror and a bottle of Jim Beam and a pistol on the passenger seat, and he pulls into that veteran cemetery and goes and visits his buddy's graves and reflects on his life and has this moment where he, looks up to God and all that God has done for him and has a change of heart. And then the redemption comes in and he resets all his life. He gets back in the car, pours the beer or the bourbon out and puts the pistol back in the glove box and drives on with a new mission in life to live a life that's worthy and is no longer unworthy. So without it further ado, here is Unworthy. Driving down the road one day, I felt this urge to pull in to this clearing in the pines, a lonely cross upon the hill. A field full of crosses in straight and even rows, dotted that green grass, decorated with flags and bows. Teary-eyed and grateful, well, I reflected on my life, all those wasted years, filled with greed and foolish pride. Deep down I wondered what they all would think about my poor choices and the life I've thrown away, 'cause I'm unworthy of their selfless sacrifice, so unworthy. Yeah, that my life is worth that price. I've been trapped so long, consumed by selfish gain, never once thinking of all it's cost in loss and pain, 'cause I'm unworthy. I'm so unworthy. Staring at that cross a while from the base of that hill, you can't help but think of the one whose blood was spilled, and all the pain he felt that day on Calvary, the heavy weight his shoulders bore for a poor old wretch like me, 'cause I'm unworthy of his mercy and his grace, so unworthy. Yet he took this sinner's place. I've been trapped so long, consumed by selfish gain, I never once think about the cost in blood and pain, 'cause I'm unworthy. I'm so unworthy. Sitting among the silence, a new fire burns in me to live a life that's worthy and be the best that I can be, so I'm worthy. So I'm worthy. We're all worthy.
I am so glad that was the last line of your song, brother. Because that was listening to the song and knowing that's the place where I think a lot of our veterans and our first responders go at sometimes. The truth is, and again, you nailed it at the end, and it is the reality. Just to give kind of an update, not to share, not to put anyone's business out in the. Sometimes during the show, we have comments come in, And we have veterans and first responders that are struggling with stuff in life. And we saw one of those. And just to let everyone know, I mean, not that we're unworthy, but we got our paws on them, just so you know. We that's what we do. We build and grow, and we give the help we can, where we can, how we can. And it's kind of the message Lance was sharing earlier. It's you don't need a mountain of money to do it, but you do need to have some resources to pull it off. And sometimes our veterans and our first responders find themselves in a rut or a deep hole sometimes. And it just takes a little bit of creativity to figure out how to get them out of that space. And there's a truth to here, folks. They got to do part of the work with as well. Yeah. And so that's the truth. And
you got to want the help to get the help.
Yeah, I think, and this goes back to a little bit of what Lance was talking about earlier, in the fact that a lot of people got wants. A lot of people want to have the things, and sometimes it sucks. But you know what happened when it sucked when we were back in the old boot camp? Embrace it. Embrace that suck.
That's right.
And again, sometimes it's overwhelming, and we get it. And what we find in the world of veterans and first responders, because we're built to survive. That's the reality. You've been trained to survive. And unfortunately, some people wait too long, and the overwhelming is overwhelming, and it's too late. And so when sometimes that's the conversation we have religiously with our fund sources, is that we can't budget because we never know what the asks are. And we keep a pool, but the pool isn't gigantic for when those oopsies come along. But the reality is, what we told the board is, if we have it, we spend it, and we will help as many as we can. And that's the mission, man. And that's what we do. And again, this ain't about the People's Patriot Project right now, because we're talking about Lance Reed and Freedom Outdoor, and we got to get him up and rolling and get that whole thing. We got to have one in every state. Legitimately have to have one in every state. And
yeah,
again,
that would be amazing.
And we got to get one up good running going first. But I just sit here in my brain always, because again, this is where my heart was originally in life. But can you imagine how many amazing veteran and first responder service members are out there that could mentor these young men, and again, not be concerned about reaching into their back pocket, but I know it's there. We just got to get the message out, man. We got to get it out there. We'll have too many old E6s with their coffee mug hanging out with the young men, and their boots barely tied and their hat off
my grass
side, and yeah.
But think about this, Mark. There's a lot of older service members, or let's not even call it service members. There's a lot of older, seasoned men who are looking for something to do. They're looking for something to fulfill them. They're looking for something to really make a difference in their life. How much more of this is an amazing opportunity to step into something and say, you know what, I might be old and crusty, but let me show you what I can do, or let me show you what I can teach you.
Fishing pole never fixed that, did it? A fishing pole never.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
Too easy. Well, I mean, you hear it all the time. Veterans are always saying, you know, I need a purpose. I don't have a purpose here. Yeah. I don't have a purpose out in the civilian world. You know, when I was in the military, I had a purpose. You know, they told me what my purpose was, but I had it. Here, I don't have anything. There's nothing. And that's what they're looking for. Veterans are looking for a purpose. And something like what you're doing, Lance, is right up the alley. I mean, just, Yeah,
we got to build it. Build it. We got to put it under the dome and make it part of the mission, man. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
That's
well, and here
right.
recently, sorry to interrupt. Here recently, I've been reaching out to even some of our legislators and Congress and mayors and that kind of stuff. And so we have elections here in Oklahoma real soon. And so I've reached out to some of these men and said, hey, here's what we're trying to do. And they said, hey, let me get into office and we'll see what we can, so I know the potential is there. It's just, yeah, I know Frank's laughing. He's like, a politician telling you they're going to do something. That's pretty funny. But, it's what we got. I'm beating the streets. I'm trying to get as much exposure as possible so that we can get this word out there and this mission out there. So
you guys almost baited me into a conversation. I can't go there. I can't go there, man. I can't do it. All right. We have a dilemma here. Amazing content tonight. Amazing conversation. Here's our dilemma. Our dilemma is Andrea really wants us to have our shows under 2 hours. We've never held that. We've never held that to a criteria, but we've never had to really, sometimes they've gone over I'm just saying, no one's got to shorten anything, but we've got 2 segments to go and a song. So be cognizant of that maybe a little bit, but we still need to know the information. Frank,
no news is good news.
No news is good news tonight. All right. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Frank comes and preps every Tuesday for the news. And so I don't want to, his time is valuable to us and we love having him here. Make sure you get a chance to go out and get Frank's books. Check out Frank's books. He is a world-renowned bestseller. And so I know, Jamie, he's booing us. He's booing us. That's maybe Frank. Maybe I can set up a studio and you can do a brief on your news this week and you can put it out there. You want to do that?
If you'd like.
No, I don't. I can do whatever. It's good. Mr. Reed, what is the next big? What's the vision? Where are we going? I think we got an idea, but I need your words to tell us where we're going.
Yeah. So if you come up 30,000 feet and look down, here's what we're believing for. Okay. I believe here in Oklahoma, somewhere close to Tulsa, someone is going to donate a very large piece of land. Where on this piece of land, it will have an event center. It will have a gym. It will have horse stables. It will have ponds. It will have woods to hunt in. It will be the mecca for freedom outdoors. And I've told this to many places. If I get a hold of, if someone is willing to donate this, I don't have to have my name on it. And that's what's so amazing about what we're doing is it ain't about me. I don't need the kudos. I don't need it has to have my name on it. No. This is for the young men of our community. This is for the future generations that we're needing to help change the cycle of dysfunction. So I really believe that someone is going to step in here and say, this is a very well worth cause that you're doing. And we want to donate a piece of land that this can be a portion of so that we can do this function on. And I've talked to my board members and everything that once we get this piece of land and we get our organization and we start reaching the communities, I also want to reach out to the local church communities. And I want to go to these local churches and say, hey, dads, guess what? How about we take your young man, your 12-year-old, your 15-year-old, your 20-year-old, let's take them out for a weekend retreat and let's show them a good time and let them be able to experience your dad and son kind of time and go to these local churches. And then maybe that be a source of funding for the organization so that we can get funds to help with the organization. And then the last thing is just possibly in the end, maybe we start a small landscape company, junk removal company, where we can have these young men that we have been through the program and they've been working and they've been showing us they're steadfast and they've been there each and every time. and we put them to work at our little landscape company, or we put them to work at our little gutter removal, or, clean out the gutters or pick up the limbs, or something very, very simple, something that these young men can go at a very entry level type of deal and make some money and show them. And every single time you're doing this, whether it's with fishing or horseback or anything, you're building their confidence. You're building their confidence. And that's what these young men are suffering from. They have no confidence. They have never done anything hard and been through the other side and been like, hey, look, I did that. That's mine. That they've never had that opportunity. So having a small little landscaping company of some sort to have these young men as they go through this, through our program, to be able to work and provide. So the end goal is to have a young man, take him out of his environment, let him understand that he is valued, that he is amazing, that he can do anything, build that confidence, let him stack confidence on top of confidence so that he can go out and get a job and be productive for himself, and then for his wife, and then for his family, and then for his community.
So you're asking these boys to go to work. How do they handle? Do they want to work?
Let me tell you, I struggle. Here's where I struggle. I struggle with the Marine Corps side and the dad side of things, because whenever I have these young men out there, you have to be on them. I mean, they are not conditioned for someone to say, I need you to pick that up. I need you to take it over there. I need you to take that out. And they don't, it's foreign for them, right? They've never had anyone say, no, I want you to do X, Y, and Z. They've never had that. They've never had a male role model or a male anybody tell them, I want you to do this, this, and this. And so, yes, it is a little bit foreign for them. It is a little bit where you have to find ways to encourage them, right? And this is what we've done here at my farm, here at our place. We've only got 5 acres. But when we have these young men over here, you know what I tell them? Hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go out here. We're going to build this lean-to. We're going to put these posts in the ground. We're going to pour concrete. We're going to do all. But guess what? At the end of the day, we're going to go ride horses. We're going to go fishing. We're going to go do something fun. We work hard and we play hard. So that's the motivation that you try to get them is it almost the carrot dangling in front of them, right? I mean, each person, even as an adult, as a father, I sometimes need a little carrot to dangle in front of me to motivate me to do stuff. So that's the things that we do is we say, hey, we're going to work hard. Guess what? We're going to sweat. We're going to get out there and we're going to make it work. But then we're going to play hard too. So I think that really helps because guess what was taught to me? You work hard, you play hard. That's what was taught. My dad taught me, man, by 16, 17 years old, I could wire up a shed. I could wire up I was an electrician. I could do just about anything at 17 years old. But guess what? When it came time to play, man, we played. We had fun. So that's kind of the hook, if you will, is you say, hey, we're going to work hard, but we're going to play hard too.
I'm trying to work through something in my head here, and sometimes things get slowed up when it all happens. But we'll wait. We'll keep it for post show is what we'll do.
Okay.
Mr. Busby, what's the big vision? Where you work? What are you working on now? Where are we going?
I'm just writing songs. Right now, me and my wife are working on a duet together, so I'm really excited about that. Getting to sing with her, that's going to be amazing in itself. She's very shy and introverted, so getting her to sing with me has been a challenge, but I think I've about got her talked into it. Wrote a new song, and it's really good, and it's a perfect duet love song, and so I think I got her talked into it, which is outside of my normal sad country songs, which is like the next one I'm going to sing. Took it to the studio, and the guy was playing it, and his drummer is like, that's a really good country song. It makes me want to kill myself, but man, it's a good country song. He's like, it's really depressing and dark. And, I was like, yeah, that's where it came from when I was writing it. I was going through a lot. It felt like, I was getting pulled down every chance, every good thing that came around was just a step up to knock me down 3 or 4 more steps down every time. And anytime that things got good, I'm always bracing for the downfall because I know it's coming. And just like with my hearing, I mean, things were going good. I knew something was coming. I would have never imagined that it would have been losing my hearing, but here we are. You know, life don't come easy for a lot of people. And, you know, you pick up the pieces and you move along as best you can. And you prepare for the next pull down. And that's kind of what this song is all about. There's no happiness. There's no cherry on top. It's just raw and in your face and true. It's true. It's true life. There's no happy ending sometimes. So, yeah.
Let's hear it, brother.
This is my personal hell. I feel like this life is my personal hell. Instead of a light down a tunnel, well, I'm staring down a well. Well, this life, it ain't been easy as far as I can tell. Well, I guess I'm just living in my personal hell. I work my fingers to the bone to try and get ahead, just to have it go, to barely keep my family fed. I never get ahead, no matter what I do. So what's the point in trying when all I do is lose? I feel like this life is my personal hell. Instead of a light down a tunnel, well, I'm staring down a well. This life, it ain't been easy as far as I can tell. Well, I guess I'm just living in my personal hell. My life is full of ups and downs. Lady Luck don't visit me. And when she finally comes around, she quickly takes her leave. I'm clinging to the pieces as best as I can, but it slips through my fingers like life's sifting sand. Oh, I feel like this life is my personal hell. Instead of a light down a tunnel, well, I'm staring down a well. Well, this life, it ain't been easy as far as I can tell. Well, I guess I'm just living in my personal hell. Yeah, I guess I'm just living in my personal hell.
That is Kenneth Busby with My Personal Hell. Well, we're at that time where we are really knocking on the door. And again, don't shorten anything. We end and have decided to end our shows with final thoughts, only because there's been so many times when an impactful conversation has happened that there's some building of growth. There's an opportunity. It might be personal, it might be institutional, it might be global, but there is some depth, and people take something away from it. And again, if there's any listeners out there that want to add their information, put it up on the chat, and we will get your comments to the show up as well. It's all it's Kitty Wampus tonight, because Frank's always sitting next to me down here, and he always starts it. So the order is going to be Frank, Lance, Andrea, Ken, and then myself. And so with that said, Frank, lead off our final thoughts.
Okay, we talked about a lot of community things and helping others and some great music, and it reminds me of something I've always believed in. I talk about it a lot to my friends and my family, and I call it unexpected acts of kindness. And it doesn't have to be anything huge, or sometimes it can just be opening a door for somebody. Or it could be, I do this a lot when I go to a restaurant. If I see a family and they are ordering a meal, I'll just pick up the tab. I'll tell the waitress, just give me their check. And a lot of times when you do that, the waitress looks at you like, you want a what? And I said, yeah, just give me their check. I've been blessed my whole life, and it's no good unless you can share it. And so one day, my daughter, she went on a trip, and she went to stop by a store, and she bought me a coffee mug for the team that I support in baseball, which right now is not doing well. But she brought it home, and it brought a tear to my eye, because, sometimes you teach people things, and even without them knowing it, they carry that on. And she thought this was something that I would like. It wasn't my birthday. It wasn't Father's Day. It wasn't anything. It was just a day. And she gave it to me. And that's become my favorite mug to drink coffee out of now. And I drink out of it every day. And I'm just putting this out because people don't realize that they can make an impact on somebody by doing something so small as just telling somebody thank you, or saying how happy you are that they're your friend, or just helping somebody. And we don't do that enough in our society anymore. And I think that's one of the problems. But that's just coming from an old military veteran who would rather be writing books and making people happy.
Too mean to die. Too mean to die.
Yeah, my new theme song.
Mr. Lance Reed. Nope.
There we go. Yeah, man, I just thank you guys for the opportunity here. I really, to my core, I honestly believe that each and every person in every community can do something. That, just like what Frank was saying, it doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be, do something. And this is, here's the deal. I'm a believer. I believe Jesus Christ is Lord and Master of my life. But you don't even have to be a Christian. You just have to be a good dude. You just have to be a good person. You just have to be good, and I think I did a video here just not too long ago out with the horses and chickens, and just be nice. Just be nice to people. Be respectful to people, and see that won't come back multiple fold. See that it won't. And so that's what we're doing with these young men that we're impacting and we're helping. It's not anything that I'm doing special. Anybody can do something. Anybody can go out and take a young man and find someone at a boys and girls, there's community outreach everywhere. You can find somewhere. Go down to the local mission and serve food. Do something. Don't just sit on your hands and say, well, I can't, or there's nothing. Go do something. So I just want, my last thing is just be good, be respectful to people. We've lost, man. I tell my young men all the time, you can get out of a lot of hairy situations if you just turn around and walk away. Don't try to be the bigger man. Don't try to show off. Just turn around. It's not worth it. What are you proving? And we're not teaching this concept of it's okay to walk away. It's okay to be the bigger person. It's okay to be nice. It's okay. We're not teaching this. So I just want to thank you guys again so much for having me on here. And go do something nice. Go be the change. Go do something to someone to change someone's life.
Andrea.
Yes, sir.
Title of the show, Be the Change.
I like it. There's a lot of short title like messages. Okay. Do better. And then there's the be better. I'm going to start with that actually. Oh, Lance, I'm sorry. I'm going to let you finish.
No, that was it. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. I'm going to actually start with that. The Be Better award in our 8th grade will be given out this week. And there's some background on that phrase. Peterson says it all the time. Be better today than you were yesterday. Be better tomorrow than you were today. And it all fits. But there's an actual nonprofit and movement out there started by a firefighter who lost his life. And now his kids live in town and go to school here. And there's some amazing kids. But he wore, he had those bracelets, those silicone bracelets. And that was his phrase, be better. And he said it every day. And he wore that band and he gave them to his kids. And he said, just always be better. And when he was found, it was the, if either of you remember the name, there's a movie out there, but it was the 13 that they burned under their blankets. And his bracelet was left. Crazy, right? It didn't melt in the fire. And so anyway, to get that award, you have to qualify. You have to show action, which is a big thing for someone at the 13, 14-year-old age level, to show action towards being better. And we mostly look for, because really it's not built in yet at this age, thinking of others is huge. And so when we say for you to be better, that doesn't necessarily mean improve yourself. Yes, in ways improve yourself, but I don't mean tomorrow I'm going to make more money than I did today, because that's not my end goal. That's nice if that happens, but it means thinking about someone else in our context, which it takes me right into Lance and Lance's mission and the heart of what you are doing, the passion, the energy, and then adding the organization of being a veteran and sharing that with the boys. And only too true. It's weird, the things that are so common sense, obvious in our world, the demise of the nuclear family, and I'm probably going to take some heat for that one, but really go back a couple generations, and it might have been, then comes into another phrase that we used, embracing the suck. It's not always lovely and beautiful and easy. There's rift, there's fights, there's sometimes abusive relationships, but we got to get through that and keep as many of those families. It's super easy for me to say it, or else don't get there. And that's not always possible either. But these days we see so many grandparents, and we hope that there's a grandfather and a grandmother, because that male role model coming out of the schools. We just know there has to be a good role model in a boy's life. Otherwise, you lose hope. You lose hope. And Kenneth, thank you for coming on. Gosh, it flew by so fast since I first reached out to you, saw your name, reached out to you, and bam, we were friends. And your energy as well to come on, share the word, and your songs are so fitting. I feel that you've got places to go and things to do as well, and so we'll be behind you as well. You got some healthy things, you got some ear things to work out, and you'll get there. And you will be right here. We'll be right here behind you, along with that whole step and energy and piece that you need to do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was awesome getting to know you guys and hear more about, even more than we heard on Tuesday and the week before. Lance, thank you so much.
Mr. Busby. Oh, it didn't slide.
Yeah, Lance, man, God. If the program ever makes it to Alabama, look me up. I got 30 acres. There's no limit to work around here, and there's a pond full of bass fish in the back, and 100 acres behind me for hunting. That I think I know the owner, so I can probably get that as well. We got stables for horses. We don't have any horses currently. We have donkeys, but there's plenty that we can do here, and I would love to be a part of what you're doing if you ever bring it to Alabama. God, inspirational, man, what you're doing. The work I've already said it, the work you're doing is going to pay dividends down the road, not only, in your life, but in the lives of those kids. And, the direction that they're going now and the direction you're going to take them, man, it's the payment that's going to relate to, keeping them out of jail, keeping them from doing something and hurting somebody else. You can't put a price tag on that.
No.
So thank you for what you're doing. As far as me and my songs, I mean, I'm just sitting here writing them and enjoying it. I'm just a songwriter. I never wanted to be a singer. And as y'all can tell, I'm not that great at it, but I do enjoy writing the songs and telling stories. So if there's any songwriters out there that y'all have that's looking for a song, send them my way, and maybe we can match them up, and I get somebody with a better voice to sing them and put them out there than what I've got.
You do great, brother. You do great. Again, that's just another happy Papa moment. Phil Cook, thank you for all the amazing things you're doing behind the scenes. Jamie Peacock, you're here every week, man. Just let's get you floated in and let's do some stuff. Love having you around, brother. The amazing WeP3 team that is working behind the scenes right now and working on asks and conversations with veterans and first responders. There's always I was going into this show tonight tired, and I never reveal that. The only one that probably gets to hear it every once in a while is Andrea, and it's just like, I'm tired, I'm beat, I'm down. And not down like depressed, but I'm just like, a Napskis would be really nice more than what I get. And I did get a little brief one today, but I spent most of my time working and doing stuff and getting and just invigorated by this. And just, again, the ability, I don't know if this is a gift I have or not. It seems more tormenting more than it is anything. That I feel like I have the gift of vision, and it gets me in a lot of trouble a lot of the time. And Andrea gets to deal with it, a gigantic portion. And it's like, yeah, we slow down, big shooter, is what she knows.
You call that vision. I like it. It is vision. It is vision.
I I wish, and again, when you work in the world of faith, there's so many new asking you shall receive. I believe he will give us what we want when we need it. And just because you ask sometimes the answer to prayer is no. And those are the reality. And what I do know is that we control what we can control. And it doesn't take a prayer to control being better. You don't have to say, hey, big feller, can you help me be better? You do that. You figure that out. You know your line in place. Be better. I'm excited about growth. And again, we have this mantra that we talk about daily, that the version of us tomorrow should be better than the version of us today. And if it's not, we got to figure this out. And guess who gets to figure that out? This is a piece that you get to figure out. I don't get to figure it out for you. You don't get to figure it out for me. But I do know collectively together, we can make life better for others. And it's super simple. Simple. It's just a choice. And again, these are all very cliche-ic. I don't know if that's the right word. Language arts help me out. Cliche-ic, is that a right word?
Just go with it. Yep.
Just go with cliche. And I like cliche. The other part is it's real easy to talk. And we are an action group. We are boots on the ground, and we will be in the middle of the battle. It doesn't make sense to train if you're not going to engage. And that's where we're at. And that's where we ask all of you. Get involved. Be part of something. It doesn't have to be specifically anything that happened tonight. It would be great if it was. Constantly asking people to be involved and make a difference. And it's just changing lives, man. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to buy the person behind you their coffee or the person in front of you. It makes me feel good when it happens. Make choices. And it doesn't always have to be about spending money on anybody. It could just be nice. Have a real conversation. Again, thank you to our guest, Ken Busby Jr., for being on air for the music tonight. Thank you, Lance Reed, for Freedom Outdoors. I also do the shout out, Lance, for the group that did the video for you.
Battle Branch Boys.
Thank you.
Battle Branch Boys, yes.
Amazing. Thank you, WeP3 team, for the work you do. Thank you for those that are working behind the scenes. Go check your 6, and we will be here next Sunday. We don't have a full board yet. We'll get it. We're a little bit behind, been so busy, but we got Ali Hamari coming to us. It seems like all this stuff's been deleted from my thing, but we'll get that loaded up again. And he's got a K9 group out of Nashville, and excited to have him. We will have we'll get a musician on. That's not even tough. And again, Phil Cook, thank you for your message and being involved. We'll see you when the smoke clears. Tomorrow at 4:30, we will be back with the WeP3 Weekly Debrief to share all the things that we're doing, behind the scenes, not behind the scenes, what our missions are, what we're working on, what events we're at, and how we can be better. And again, if you guys can hang out for the post show, that'd be great. And we'll keep moving forward. Patriot Pride. See you when the smoke clears.